Hello again, and thank you to all of today's presenters. I hope you found these sessions informative and helpful as you continue to develop your projects and strengthen your coalitions. I can't wait to see you all again tomorrow. To help us close out today's session, it is my pleasure to introduce you to U.S. Secretary of Commerce, Gina Raimondo. Secretary.
Thank you, Alejandra. Thank you, thank you. And thank you to all of you who are participating today. Most of all, thank you to the team at EDA. You've done incredible work in a short period of time, and what you're doing is literally unprecedented, so thank you. But today is all about the Build Back Better finalists, so congratulations, you guys. It's incredible work that you've done. You should feel great that you have gotten this far. We started with 529 applications. And from that 529, we got it down to the 60 of you who are with us today. I will tell you, I have done a lot of regional economic development in my time as governor. Most of the applications were fantastic. And so the fact that you're in the very top 10% speaks volumes about the quality of your applications. As you know, and as you've heard, next month, you're going to submit proposals, and your proposals are designed to support, bring about transformational bottom-up economic development in your regions. And the opportunity before you is to do that, to create good paying jobs in fast-growing areas in your region so that your regions compete in the 21st century. And as he said, as the governor, I did a lot of this. It's some of the most gratifying work that I did. And I've seen firsthand how smart, well-planned, well-executed economic development really can transform regions. And we have many regions around this country that need to be transformed, either because they're struggling due to energy transitions or decline in manufacturing, or disruptions due to COVID. And so the work you're doing is vital. I want to spend a second to talk about what success looks like. Together, regions are going to improve their competitiveness through the development of industry clusters. And I know from experience that developing these industry clusters can really shift a whole local economy, which means you have to create coalitions. This cannot be top down. It cannot just be government. Coalitions will make significant industry and institutional commitments and see them through. And that's, I cannot emphasize that enough. To win, we have to be convinced that the entire ecosystem in your community, public sector, private sector, leadership, philanthropy, training partners are invested in this, have skin in the game, are going to put money beside the federal money, and are going to see this through for the long term. Those anchor institutions in your communities, whether it's universities or companies or individuals, they're going to be there forever. And we need to be convinced that they are fully, totally, and completely bought in. But, this is not easy. I'm not pretending it's easy. This is the yeoman's work that's going to rebuild America from the bottom up, one community at a time. But you're doing it. And so I can't thank you enough for participating, for doing great work that you've already done. And I want to say my team and I are here to help you. I hope you utilize the next 2 days to learn from each other, get new ideas, grow. I hope you'll benefit from our technical assistance that we want to provide to you. And I just, honestly, I cannot wait to see how your proposals develop and to see over the years what we do together. So with that, I would like to introduce Scott, who's amazing and who is our Build Back Better Regional Challenge Program Lead. And he's going to take you through the rest of the program. So over to you, Scott.
Thank you, Secretary Raimondo. I appreciate it. Thank you for all your leadership on this program. Thanks, everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed today as much as I did. I think this was a really phenomenal first day of 2. Just to close us out, I want to close out with a few sort of logistical points, but a couple of high notes as well. So the whole point of this was to have us come back together and to sort of get out of the weeds just a little bit and start talking, taking a step back 6 weeks out and ask the questions, some of the big questions around governance and leadership, around problem statements and equity, and really sort of just take another look at all of it, take another pass. So a few things that came out of the conversation today, Bruce, John, Vonti really hit home, I think, a critical point about that clear problem statement. While I know everyone has been thinking about that, there's a moment now, I think, again, to take a step back and take another pass at this. Your problem statement and what you're trying to accomplish, the coin of the realm here is not cleverness or novelty or something that would be at the top of every newspaper heading, but really authenticity. What do you have to solve? Like, what do you have to get done? And if you are able to accomplish some of those things through these resources, what will that actually mean for the people that you're really trying to move the needle for? While I know we've been thinking about this day in and day out, I genuinely think taking that step back with the leadership of your coalition and having these conversations now can really help move a lot of the work forward. Don talked a lot about really how we drive equity into the goals, into commitments, into measurements. And here again, I think we talk about equity all the time on this program throughout this initiative. But here again, I think there's an opportunity to take a step back and take another pass at your proposal and your different component projects. And I would encourage you to ask the question, what would be one step further here? Doesn't mean you can do it. Doesn't mean you're even willing to put it in your proposal, but I think it's worth the conversation. Like, what is one step further in terms of our movement towards a more equitable proposal and by extension, a more equitable region? Some of that's going to be candidly a little scary for some coalitions that have not done this in the past as well as perhaps possible. But again, I think taking the moment, listening to the things Donna talked about, asking what would be one or two steps further, and just getting out in front of that and being willing to discuss that. And then finally, we talked about commitments, and this was peppered in to the remarks from the secretary, from Ginny and others. And I think it's worth asking the question, why are we doing this? Why are we asking for commitments? Why are we talking about letters of support in a different way? We don't have to do any of this. I think the reason why we are doing this is we genuinely believe that it doesn't matter with $100 million and the greatest regional economic competitiveness officer and the best lead organization out there, you will not be able to accomplish over the long term the things you've set out to do. And so this commitment process and all the other things that we've done is meant to encourage and incentivize you to bring those other actors to the table in a genuine way and use this process for non-trivial amounts of resources to get them excited and engaged on things that might take a lot longer to get done. So please do take that process seriously. We're taking it incredibly seriously. There's lots of ways to make incredible commitments. It's not all just about money, though money is important. There's policy changes. I think Jeannie made an excellent comment about when you think about companies, what can they best bring to the table? Sometimes it's time, CEO time. Leadership can only focus on so many things at once. If this is a focus area of theirs, that's a critical commitment. And then take the TA providers up on their help over the next 6 weeks and beyond. They're here to help. That's what they're extraordinarily excited to do, and they're really good at it. So with that, I want to turn it. I want to say there's a couple logistical features. So the breakout rooms link will be shared in the chat, and folks should use that link to enter into their particular breakout rooms. We know many of you are going to want to do your own chats, or maybe you're meeting up with your coalition in person, or however you see fit. But we wanted to provide these rooms. They're private. You can use them for, I don't know, I think it closes at 6:30 Eastern time or something like that. They're for you to use at your convenience. But again, our goal here is we think it would really behoove your projects and really get them to better places. You take a little bit of time to get out of the weeds, think about these big picture things, ask yourself, what is one step further in terms of our industry commitments and what we're asking of our CEOs. It's not easy to ask a governor for something or a CEO for something, but if you're going to do it, now would be the time. What does it mean in terms of one step further with equity, and how do we really understand ourselves so we can get to that great Dolly Parton quote, do what you know, recognize what you're best at and do it on purpose. With that, really appreciate your time. Looking forward to seeing everybody tomorrow and looking forward for the great comments and questions into the Build Back Better email address. Thank you, everyone.